welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be doing an adoption Q&A. Posted about our open adoption a couple of days ago, or it was probably like a week and a half ago
yeah,
now.
a few days ago.
And a lot of people were like, had a lot of questions about it, like how is your adoption going? Is it still open? And so I thought, you know what? November is National Adoption Awareness Month. And so I figured we could at least do like maybe one adoption related video a week for the month of November. And so we're gonna start off with an adoption Q&A. If you're not following us on Instagram, it's at Derek and Liza. We asked for most of our Q&A questions there. A couple of people left questions on the last video that we posted. But if you didn't watch all the way until the end, then you didn't even see that we were asking. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Our daughter is 18 months old. We adopted her at birth. We were matched for 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, the end of November to the beginning of May.
Right.
And we have an open adoption with her birth parents and birth family just in general.
Right.
Would you want to do another open adoption or a closed adoption? I guess we should let's start with just a blanket question of, do we want to adopt again?
I don't think I would necessarily choose to adopt again, and it's not because our adoption is bad or anything about our current adoption
is
because
bad. It's so good.
It's good, and I don't want to have to deal with one bad, and
we don't necessarily have the time or the financial resources to adopt again, period. In general, adoption is just very expensive. And two, I said A and two.
A and two.
It's fine.
B,
we don't necessarily have the time or financial ability to have another birth family a part of our lives. Like, I wouldn't ever go into adoption saying we want a closed adoption, because I believe that in a lot of situations that open adoption is best. There's a lot of situations that it isn't, and we probably could 100% start the adoption process and wait for, but I don't know, I just wouldn't ever wish that on a situation to say, let's wait for a closed adoption. It also would be really hard on that child because Ellie's adoption is so open to then have a closed adoption. But like, we visit to see Ellie's birth family at least once a year, and I don't know how we would do that also. Like,
because I mean, there's logistics to it, right? Like, you got to pack the kids up, you got to go, you have to have the money to stay in the hotel, to eat, to do stuff while you're there, and you also have to have the vacation time. So like, and I only get so many days off as well.
We send everyone birthday presents, we send everyone Christmas presents, we send just because presents sometimes. Like, we text almost every single day, we FaceTime every so often. Like, we are very involved in their lives, and it would be very hard to do that again. To allocate
all of those resources, financial and emotional and mental and all of it, to another open adoption.
But I guess to answer that question, if we did another adoption, like, we would want for it to be open, even though that sounds like not really, because I just said that it would have to be closed. But
that's if we chose to do another adoption.
Yeah. When will you guys tell Ellie that she's adopted? She already knows.
She knows. I mean, we FaceTime with the birth family all the time, and like, she knows that.
Like, obviously she's starting to understand more, and there will come a day where be several periods of time that she understands more and more. If you can hear grunting, Remy's in his little rocker over there, and so he's just moaning at the fan. But yeah, we have pictures of them in our family room on our wall. Like, she has pictures of them in her books. Like, there will never be a day where we sit down and we're like, okay, we got to tell you something.
It's never going to be like a whole shindig.
There's a lot of questions about our relationship with Ellie's birth parents or first family or whatever you want to call them. It's very weird to refer to them as anything other than just who they are, because they're just a part of our family now. Like, it's just, she's 18 months old, and so we've had a long time to work on what works best for all of us and kind of like making it normal to all of us, I guess. Like, now it's just life. Like, it's just, they're just part of our lives. And so the first 6 months to 9 months were rough.
There was a lot of ebb and flow on what they needed and what we needed, or what they needed the lack of, because we had gotten used to a certain level, but then things got mentally hard on us and then on them, and then it was a lot of kind of push and pull until, like, at this point, I think we're all
I mean, we all
settled.
still deal with things like mentally that like pop up and we're like, oh my god, that hurt, or that feels bad, or that's not, you know, healthy, or whatever it is. Like, we all have had to, like, there have been periods of like where communication has slacked off, where they have needed space, where we have had to resituate how things are, and it's just been like a constant choice to make them a part of our lives, a constant choice on their part to make us a part of their lives. Like, there's a lot of birth parents who choose that it's just not, they just can't. They can't be a part of the child's life or the family's life or whatever. And so it's just my advice to anybody who is getting ready to go through it and is hoping to have an open adoption is you have got to give grace and understanding to every single person that is involved. That extends to grandparents and siblings, and like, there's just so many people involved, and everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a heart. We're all human. Like, things hurt us in different ways sometimes. We'll jump back there.
Absolutely. Like,
it's just like any other relationship. Like, our relationship changes and we have to figure things out.
It's very much like, if you're going into adoption and you're wanting an open adoption, remember that it has to remain fluid. There will never be a point of rigidity to the schedule. Like, I'm not saying that you can't set boundaries. There are boundaries that you can set. It's just, you know, you may be expecting to talk to the birth parents or the, you know, the first family once a month, and they need to back off because they're going through some emotional stuff, and
or maybe they're going through emotional stuff and they're like, hey, I know we agreed on pictures once a month, but I need them once a week or every single day or whatever it is. Like, there have just been, and there have been things that have popped up that I maybe, like, in hindsight didn't really think about her first birthday being really hard on them, because for us it was just like, oh my gosh, it's her first birthday, like, how much fun is this? And to then hear from her, like, I cried a lot this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, like, not that I forgot, but just that, like, we all have, like, processed, and they're so at peace with their decision, and they tell us all the time how much they love us and how much they know that she is where she is best off. I guess it's kind of weird for them to say that, but anyways, it's still like, there's just hard things about it. All right, Derek's gonna rescue the child.
Oh, wow.
Wow, we got a grumper over here. Ellie is napping. He's supposed to be napping, but he had other plans. He wanted to be involved in the video.
Can you take my passy?
Did you involve Ellie's birth family in Ellie's first holidays, Christmas, birthday, etc.? So last year, the beginning of December, we actually traveled to where Ellie's first family lives. And we spent a week with them, and we did like Christmas pictures, we did family pictures, we did presents, we did kind of everything that you would normally for a Christmas holiday.
Went to see lights, went to...
We just had a lot of fun. And so as far as like her birthday, they were hoping to be here, but obviously this year went a lot different for both of us than we thought. Ellie's birth sibling is only 5 weeks older than Remy is. And so we had new babies on both sides of the family this year that none of us had planned for. And so they had planned to be here for her first birthday, but obviously with logistics, it just didn't work out.
Right.
And so we FaceTimed and were able to kind of share that time with them in that way. And then we're planning on seeing them early next year, maybe later on next year. So yeah, we include them in everything. It's just maybe not always in person because they're about 20 hours away from us. 20 hours away. So it's a long trip. Someone wanted to know if Ellie's birth mom had her baby and will Ellie have a relationship with that baby. Ellie will have a relationship with all of her siblings. I mean, it's just how it is.
We consider ourselves one big family.
Yeah, it just makes the most sense. I don't know why we would ever choose not to. Obviously, like, we always put her health and safety first. And if it was ever an unhealthy situation, we would take that when it came. But for now, and it always has been, a healthy situation for her. And we have FaceTimed with the new baby, and we got to see him, and he is so precious. And they do, Remy and the new baby do look a lot alike. People say that they're twins. Okay, so this one says, how do you navigate when their lives are going down a path that you don't wish for them? And then the same person said, I have an open adoption with our birth mom too, and it's hard. Our son is 16 and a half months old. I don't know how it would be to have them choose a path that was not safe for us to be around or not safe for Ellie to be around. We are so fortunate and we are so proud of them that they have just continued to blossom into these great adults who take great care of their kids and who are just really thriving in life. And I know how a lot of people don't have that experience. And so I don't know how hard, I can't imagine how hard it would be to have to deal with that and to love them through that. My advice would be just to do that, to love them through it. We always said that we would always do our part of reaching out and like maintaining communication. Obviously you can only do what you can do, and so we just always want to be able to tell Ellie, like, we did everything that we could. Like, we put them first in every situation that we could, and we encouraged them and we loved them. And you know, if there were to ever come a time that they're just not a part of our lives, then we could look at Ellie and say we did the best that we could. And so that would kind of be my encouragement, is to honor, what'd you say, your son? Yeah, honor your son in that way, and just to love them and encourage them, and realize that they're human, and they're, you know, 16 and a half months is not forever. There's a lot of healing still going on and a lot of things that they're dealing with. And so we'll definitely be thinking about you through this time. That's all for part 1 of this video. It is long enough. You guys asked enough questions that we're going to make this 2 parts. So if you guys want to see part 2 to this video, it will go up on whatever our next upload day is. Probably Monday. I think
Monday, Wednesday, or Friday.
Right. Should be going up on a Friday. So we will see you guys on Monday. Bye-bye.